Hello, class. Welcome back to NTS Doctor of Ministry program and to our course this semester on reading Henri Nouwen and his sources. I thought a good way to begin this week and this course is to turn our thoughts to Martin Luther King today on this holiday and to reflect for a moment on his, what I would call his quantum spirituality, his vision of the interconnectedness of all things in God, his panentheism, if you will. Here's a great quote from the American Dream speech, which he gave all around the country in 1964. So it's familiar to you. But remember his words: all of life is interrelated. We're caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. As long as there's poverty in the world, no one can be totally rich. Strangely enough, I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. This is the way the world is made. I didn't make it that way, but this is the interrelated structure of reality. Martin Luther King Jr. I think that's remarkable. Long before quantum physics, long before superstring theory was realized, way back in the day, Dr. King was speaking like a mystic. He speaks of the network of mutuality and the single garment of destiny, which is the interconnectedness of all things. If a butterfly flapping its wings in Hong Kong affects the weather in San Diego, that's possible because of the quantum butterfly effect of this interrelated structure. As long as there's poverty in the world, no one can be totally rich. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the Ubuntu principle that we've learned from African mother tongue, African common tongue. Ubuntu, I am because we are. King had it down on that. And I didn't make it this way, but this is how the world is made. And so contemplative spirituality is how we access that interrelated structure. Contemplative spirituality at its depth, is how we discern how God is woven into a single garment of ultimate reality that the mystics are in touch with. Let that be our guiding principle this semester as we try to explore this tradition of Christian spirituality through the lens of Henri Nouwen and as we read his sources.